Welcome to Noble for another episode. Of course, this is a platform that connects people through human stories. We are on a series that I call The Leap, and The Leap is simply a personal story of how I quit my job, what I went to school to study, to come to the city and pursue what I believe is greatness. So they say that when greatness calls, you have to leave everything. You have to go running. And sometimes you are running in the jungle. You're running to the jungle. You're going to a space where you don't know what you are doing, a space where you don't know who is going to hold your hand. So there's a lot of guesses here and there. There's a lot of panic here and there. There's a lot of calling out on people, like holler at people, come, I'm here, come help me in everything. And sometimes the response that you receive is silence. So when I arrived in the city, there was a lot of terror inside me. And somehow I had to put a bold face and act like I got this all together. Every day before I went to sleep, there were those moments when I was asking myself, did I make the right choice? And there is always that inner voice that tells you that you could have made a wrong decision. And so what did I do? I kept calling. I kept checking on social media. There's so many opportunities that come. Your friends that know that you are in the city and you don't have something to do, they will throw to you any other opportunity that they come about. And these opportunities sometimes, I can say it can be frustrating because you keep on applying, you keep on trying, and in the end, nothing comes. You don't get follow-up calls. And the most heartbreaking thing sometimes is that regret email or regret mail. So I went through a moment when I was receiving regret mails. I was not getting the calls. I was calling to just check on the status, and somebody tells you, just hold on, you're still working on this and that. And sometimes, even those phone calls don't go through. And so you are in this jungle that you have to figure out what best or how best should I do this. So I was in that moment and I understood that I was in transition. And in most cases, transition don't just, transition can present itself a lot of, uncertainties that you have to deal with. A lot of negative thoughts that comes to your mind, the inner voices that tells you made a wrong decision. But to stay on the track simply means you have to learn to deliberately feed yourself with positive energy. One way I did this was I was listening to a lot of motivational speakers because I knew it is one thing to be motivated and it's another thing to be disciplined to do it. So I wanted to wake up each day in the morning, knock on those doors where I thought there were opportunities, and from there, keep being motivated. So in my quest to find something to do, there are those moments when I settled for less, simply because I just wanted something to get me going. I just needed transport to get me to an interview. The city, or Nairobi, to be specific, can present to you its ugly side because it is a space where you have to afford everything. At the moment there's no money coming into your pocket, you can get into those moments when you are depressed, you are overthinking, you figure out the worst of the things that you think you can do. So my first job was at Global Peace Foundation. Thanks to my friend Sam, I managed to be there doing my internship. Then eventually they offered me opportunity. But still there was something within me that I was searching for. And I never stopped because I said I was not going to settle for something that did not speak to the very first reason why I left the village, I left my job. So opportunity presented itself when I got a call to work with the Emerging Leaders Foundation. And I decided this is going to be home because, for one, I was going to intern, which maybe wasn't pleasing according to me by that time. But the reason why I kept at it was, one, it was speaking to my purpose. It was speaking to that greatness which I was searching for. Of course, I set out to find myself in the media house, doing TV, doing radio and everything. My dream, my desire was that, let me get there, let me do it. But I didn't find myself there. This was a whole new space that provided me with opportunity to grow, because there was a lot of capacity building that they were doing that educated me, informed me of the things that I didn't know. And I found a very supportive supervisor who was able to, show me a number of things. So my landing at Emerging Leaders Foundation was another moment when I had to sit back and reflect and ask myself, how did I get here? There is a very unpopular opinion that maybe I can share with you, that you could have all the papers, you could be the most educated and everything, but if you do not know the right people, sometimes you may not know, or you may not find where the opportunity is. Popularly, we are told, go to school, get your papers, get your act together and everything, and those opportunities will come calling. Sometimes what we term as opportunities coming calling, it means acquaintances coming calling. People who know you for what you do keep coming calling. Those are the opportunities. That is the greatest lesson I learned, that I could have my papers, I could have whatever thing I have done. I had content on YouTube of what I have done in my community. I have a Facebook profile that was speaking to what I have done before. I had papers. I'd gone to school. I studied education. I was a counselor by profession. But still, somehow, I needed to know the right people in the right spaces where those opportunities are. So it is good to go to school. But I will go back to what I talked about in the previous episode, that social capital is something that is really, really important for an individual or someone who is hunting for a job. I am here today not because I had those papers, but because I was making calls to the opportunities. And remember here, opportunities are the acquaintances, the people who know you for what you are, but are in the right spaces where we have those opportunities. So today, that is all I wanted to share with you in the Noble as we talk about the LEAP series. Thank you.